I record in Turkish, but this time I'm gonna go with English, and so it's gonna be our first video in Coffee Talk series in English. So today's topic, by the way, if you probably don't know what Coffee Talk is. I mean, what this series is about. It's simply about talking about things like regular things in programming, and some psychological aspects of programming, some philosophical aspects of programming, and some problems like we face daily, like some personal problems, professional problems, and it actually it contains a wide range of topics actually. So it's sometimes like problem solving techniques and so on and so forth. So it's not focused on a particular topic all the time. So today's topic is answering the most effective problem solving technique that I've ever seen. Well, in almost everywhere. And I think that technique is brute forcing, especially during interviews. Brute forcing is usually the first technique that will take you to the next step. Under stress, if you don't know the problem, so on. So most people think that the brute force technique is, it's not good. It doesn't produce a best solution most of the time. Might be. I mean, I'm not saying they're incorrect, but the thing is, it is better than having nothing. Especially during the interview, for instance. You use it, brute force, to at least, show something to your interviewers. You may be knowing the problem really good. You may be knowing the solution, but if you cannot show it, it's useless. Not just in interviews, of course, it's in real life as well. In your programming career, you have to have some code that does what's required. How it does is the second important thing, not the first thing. The first important thing is whether it does it or not. So therefore, I think brute force is the first and the most effective. Most effective technique. So you may wonder, like, what's effective and efficient? Why I'm saying effective? I'm saying effective because it does the right thing. It does the right thing. So the difference between efficiency and effectiveness is effectiveness. Effective means doing the right thing, and efficiency is doing it in the right way. I'm not talking about the efficient way, I'm talking about the effective way, therefore. So brute force will give you, some results and some something that works, something that has a value. Of course, after that, you can go ahead and improve it, and you can make it more efficient. But sometimes we're stuck in coming up with the best solution in the first try, and it's not going to happen usually. I mean, it's not going to happen for most of us. Some people might be genius, I don't care, but they may come up with the best solution, most effective and most efficient solution, with their first try. But not all of us like that. So we have to find a solution first, and then kind of evaluate the solution and make it more efficient. So do not underestimate the power of brute force, therefore, and because it will help you a lot. I think it happens like not just you can use it while you're like normal. Let's say you're working on a code project. I don't know, but if you're like me, for instance, like trying to find the most efficient solution in my mind, like using design patterns and creating the best object inheritance, and trying to make the code maintainable, blah blah blah. And all those thoughts, you realize that you actually lost in those thoughts, and that makes you more stressful. And it doesn't go anywhere after a while, and you feel like, well, I've actually talked about like imposter syndrome before this talk. Well, it was in Turkey, so it probably won't understand what I'm saying. But at maybe one of the reasons why we feel like imposter syndrome is because look, we feel like a fake and fraud and stuff like that, because we cannot manage our thoughts properly. We cannot come up with a solution and then improve it. So that's simply like we don't like work iteratively to come up with this solution. I think, in fact, this is what we do in our daily lives. Agile is an iterative process. We usually cannot and don't come up with the best solution, and we actually start with something that works, but it's not perfect. In fact, I don't know how you can attain that perfectiveness. I don't care. I mean, I don't know. And in fact, I don't care, because I feel like you will not be able to attain the perfect solution, never. So, but anyways, and you start from scratch, start from small, and something works, and then you improve it, you refactor it. Of course, there's a balance. I mean, sometimes you don't want to, like, especially if you're a team, you don't want to come up with the most primitive solution. But it depends. I mean, it depends on the context. It depends on the on the environmental settings and stuff. But if you're working on a simple code project or a code, let's say, you can come up with this most primitive way of solving it, and it will give you the idea like how you can solve it, and what steps you need to take, and what the problem is, and what the restrictions are, and what you need to consider, and all those things. And the brute forcing will give you all those ideas, and help you to shape the problem in your mind. And when you see it working, it will give you the confidence as well. I think it's important. The confidence is really important. I don't know whether you consider it or not, but I think it's confidence that propels us to move forward. And when you solve the problem, now it is time to check the first step. So now you don't have to worry about solving it, but you have to worry about something much smaller than the actual problem, and that is to improve it, because your code was working, and you basically completed that stressful moment to understand the problem and develop the solution and make it functioning. And you don't have all those worries. Now your stuff is working. But improving it means now you have to understand the weak points of your program, which is usually easier, because it is something you wrote, it, and you can just by simply taking simple steps, usually like extracting some of the pieces of your code into a different method and give it a meaningful name, and which will be not that hard, because you already know how to take that step. That is your code. Let me actually turn off the notifications, because it'll disturb you guys. All right. And I like this night shift mode that comes with new Mac OS. But yeah, an extra comment about Mac OS. Anyways, But well, I forgot what I was. Darn it. I knew. I'm not reading from anywhere, guys. So I'm just, you know, I'm just talking from my mind, and that's the reason why I sometimes will forget. I mean, if I continue this series, I will forget things along the way. So just bear with me. But the idea is simple, yeah. So now you will improve your code and step by step, and you can read a book if you don't know how to do it. But I think it's sometimes really natural process. I mean, when you know the very basics of programming, especially like if you know how to write methods, if you know what the values of methods, and so on, and using variables in an effective way, and so on, and those simple things will give you give you the idea for the next step, which is to improve your code. And you probably like extract that code into maybe classes and maybe some utility classes and so on. And you don't have to be a programmer though. I mean, using the brute force, you can use it in your thought process too. Sometimes you just want to when you thinking about things, you just use this brute force to just think about the most simple thing you can fit in your head, and then go from there and write it down. For instance, like I use that in my PhD assignments, and during doctorate, I have to write a lot of assignments, and sometimes you can't just come up with the best paragraph that explains everything. Sometimes I just type them as they come to my mind, and go over again and see where I can improve, and it helps me a lot. Of course, sometimes you just fail. Sometimes that solution doesn't work. Sometimes you have to take another path, but at least that will take you one step closer to the solution. At least you know that you know one more way not to solve, or how not to solve the problem. Alright, guys, so long story short, brute force will give you the confidence. Brute force will reduce your stress. Brute force will help you during interviews in your life and in your regular programming job, like software jobs. Maybe a little bit focus on interview. Like I want to focus on interview a little bit more. And what I'm saying is, just please, give your interviewers at least one solution, whether it is perfect or not. Whether you use inheritance, whether you use polymorphism, whether you use, all those good programming practices or not. But at least give your interviews a solution that works, that does something, and they will understand it. They will definitely understand it, and they will like it. They will like, your steps taken, and this is our nature. It's how we do things, and this is how those big companies develop software. They iterate. Excuse me, and yeah, I think it's pretty much what I want to explain about brute force. So go ahead and try it more. Integrate that into your life more, and you will see the benefits really quickly in long term and short term in your life. So thanks for listening to me. My name is Tarik Guney, and this is Coffee Talk, first of my Coffee Talk series. And you guys have a great day.